Go, Mike.
The opening of the Mike O'Mara Show today is brought to you by Amazon, our Amazon page. The Mike O'Mara Show's Amazon page is your back-to-school headquarters. Please remember it for us. It powers the show when you buy your stuff through Amazon, the link on our website. Like Barbara Moody, who said on our Facebook wall, just ordered my son's UVA textbooks on Amazon via Mike O'Mara Show's website.
Thanks,
That's
Mark.
right, textbooks, folks. You can really help us out during this time of year. Use it to buy cables for your studio that break every single week.
That's true.
The banner ad at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon takes you directly to your account, and we get the credit. You save money and support the show when you shop through MikeO'MaraShow.com. Thank you very much, and we thank you in advance. And it's time Thursday for our mailbag.
Oh, yay.
Let's open it up right now. First of all, the birthdays. Let's get right to them because we got a lot of them, folks.
we do.
Good.
And it is a very, very busy show.
Yes.
I have some personal business to take care of once again with RJ Diaz.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Or as I like to call him, the man who's trying to insinuate himself into my family.
Is it?
Oh.
It has
Without my knowledge.
nothing to do
Holy
with
cow.
hygiene.
What?
He's a sneaky, slinky,
What did I do now?
sneaky guy.
We haven't heard that phrase in some time.
Downstairs and
He
wobbles and
is
pairs.
the Slinky.
First, a belated greeting to Terry Travato of Sacramento. He turned 55 a week ago Monday. That's from his loving daughter, Gina. She'd like us to sing him our special birthday song for Terry Travato on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
China.
There we go.
To you.
Yeah.
Joe Fox of Silver Spring, Maryland, has listened to Mike for 27 years. Because Sunday was his 35th birthday, he's donated $35 each to Fisher House for Mike, Teardrops to Rainbows for Rob,
Wow.
Capital Area Food Bank for Buzz,
Thank you.
and the Wounded Warrior Foundation for Oscar. He'd love to hear what Maurice Butkus thinks of the upcoming season for the Washington Capitals.
Mike, hold on.
That
before
is a
you,
bit that I did 27 years
Yeah.
ago.
Before you do that, I was been meaning to ask you: is Maurice still with us?
Yes, he is.
Is he good?
He's a fighter.
Yes, he is.
Well, it's because of his partner of 14 years.
And that is.
I have no idea.
He's not a public figure.
Let's go, Capitals!
Wow.
Maurice Butkus.
I would have bet against you doing that voice.
Kit Beatty works at the Centers for Disease Control. He turned 41 on Sunday and spreads the word about our show here in Atlanta. That's good stuff. I like that.
Hope that's all he spreads.
Tuesday was Dan Town's
Wow.
35th birthday. He had that one ready to go.
That's
you
where
had
they-
that one in your holster.
That's where they know everything about zombies.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Hey, he could hook up with Trip Affleck down there.
Tuesday was Dan Town's 35th birthday. He'd like a greeting from Dick Queasy of Dick Queasy's
Oh.
Discarded Seafood. Now there's
a
current.
request.
Give me one. Hello. I'd like to talk about my buddy Dan Town. Dan Town likes discarded seafood just about as much as anybody. That's why he's going to come from my unlimited crab pot.
Oh.
Chock-a-block full of discarded crab from other restaurants. Yes, it might be slightly ammoniated and might taste a little rough, but he'll enjoy it and have a happy birthday. We'll even throw in a used birthday cake at the end of his meal.
Oh, wow.
Not approved by the USDA.
Happy 35th birthday, Dan Town. Today is Mike Stratman's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mike Stratmoham's.
Listen.
Mike Stratmohan's birthday.
Uh-huh.
He'd like Jack Cassidy
Really?
to officiate at his wedding
No.
to his longtime boyfriend Sean.
Would Jack mind a thing like that? I know he's not really with us anymore.
We're gathered here to join these two lovely boys, Sean and Mike Stratmohan. I'm Jack Cassidy.
Jack, I have a question for you.
Hi there, Rob.
Do you have any personal lifestyle choices that make you very, very well qualified to officiate this wedding?
Indubitably.
And that is?
I too like the company of men.
Which makes you?
A gay.
Nice ascot.
Happy birthday to 6-year-old Jacob Hammerstone, who wonders why we spell the word sad at the beginning of our show. He'd like a greeting from Frankie.
He's 6 years old, and every day he hears us spell the word sad at the beginning of the show, and he doesn't understand why.
I don't know. I don't know why. I just spell sad. What? I don't get it.
It's S-A-D. S-A-D.
Oh.
You see.
Frankie, you lost your mojo.
Frankie,
Tell the kid, get the kid a nice present. Tomorrow, Jim Rennie turns the same age as Mike O'Mara, 53. Congratulations,
Right.
Jim.
Let's say that.
Oh, start that bit. Jeff Brown turns 34 tomorrow. He'd like a shout out from the Gingerbread Man. Well, the Gingerbread Man's not able to pull a full work week ever.
Can I do the Gingerbread Man in his
Yes.
stead?
Oh, good.
Happy birthday! I hope it's a great one for you.
That's so good.
Brandon Westervelt turns 21 tomorrow. He's planning an Oscar-style birthday party, followed by a Mike O'Mara-style apology tour.
Oh.
An Oscar-style birthday, for those of you just joining us, is a birthday you don't show up for.
Right. Our good friend Hank Reuter has a birthday tomorrow and plans to celebrate with us at Quench.
Yeah. Very
Speaking
cool.
of Quench will be here today
Cool.
Yeah.
nice.
on the show and also the bonus show. That's right. I thought it was just going to be the bonus show, but they came in early and they're bringing gifts. We're
That's
very excited
nice.
about
Ooh,
that.
nice.
We are very excited about that. Anyway, let's see. Katie McFarland may be there too with the husband who's crazy in love with her. Friday is her 33rd birthday. Well, come by, Katie.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you.
Yeah. See?
Adam Elder Jr. turned 16 on Sunday, and he loves Oscar's Gingerbread Man.
Again with the gingerbread.
Yeah,
Thought Oscar
great.
was going to be
Isn't
there.
it odd?
Terrific.
Oscar's not here.
It's
Yeah.
odd that someone named Elder would also be a junior.
Sunday's also a birthday for 3-year-old Damien Curiel, who would love a greeting from Cookie Monster. Who does Cookie Monster?
Well, I've heard you do Cookie.
Oh.
Don't do Cookie Monster. Instead, can you do something from The Omen?
Damien.
Damien Curiel. We must stop the boy. He has a Mike O'Mara Show t-shirt, and there's video of him learning our names by pointing to the characters on his shirt.
I have the tape of this. This is very cute.
Okay, let's
This
listen.
is the father with Damien, and Damien is actually pointing at the characters and naming them, and then arguing with his father.
You remember? Who is that? Who's that? That's Buzz.
That's Mike. That's Whoop. That's Oscar.
That's
Wow.
Oscar. Yay!
That's Carter's. That's Whoop. That's
Mike.
that's Whoop. Yeah.
No, that's Oscar, and that's
Oh,
Rob.
that's Whoop.
No, that's Rob.
I get them confused all the time.
I told you.
Yeah, what the son should have said is face.
Face.
Face, you got it wrong, Pop.
Ryan Putz. I'm sorry, Ryan Pultz.
Oh.
Turns 37 on Monday. He's been listening for over 20 years, and he just wants to say thank you.
Isn't that nice?
Well, you're
And
welcome.
Josh Murphy turns 21 on Monday. His nickname is Bambi because he went vegetarian after seeing that movie.
Wow.
That is it. And do we have anything else in the mailbag? Or
That's
is that
it for today.
Did
Just
I get it covered?
birthdays.
Thank you very much. Let's start the show, everybody.
You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show.
Get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Mrs. White, you've been paying our friend the blackmailer ever since your husband died under, shall we say, mysterious circumstances.
Ah, I didn't kill him.
Then why are you paying the blackmailer?
I don't want a scandal, do I? We had had a very humiliating public confrontation. He was deranged. He was lunatic. He didn't actually seem to like me very much. He had threatened to kill me in public.
Why would he want to kill you in public?
I think she meant he threatened in public to kill her.
Was that his final word on the matter?
Being killed is pretty final, wouldn't you say?
And yet he was the one who died, not you, Mrs. White, not you.
What was he like?
He was always a rather stupidly optimistic man. I mean, I'm afraid it came as a great shock to him when he died, but he was found dead at home. His head had been cut off, and so had his, I had been out all evening at the movies.
Do you miss him?
Well, it's a matter of life after death. Now that he's dead, I have a life.
But he was your second husband. Your first husband also disappeared.
But that was his job. He was an illusionist.
But he never reappeared.
He wasn't a very good illusionist.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show, featuring Buzz Burbank with Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana. And now, from his couch, here's Mike.
Live from the Cappy Pfeiffer Studios, it's America's most beloved podcast, The Mike O'Mara Show. We are downloaded more than 14.5 million times and heard in 150 countries worldwide. You can call us at 718-506-1625. It is Thursday, August 23, 2012, and we're delighted to have you along with us. Our show is brought to you by a very special TMOS happy hour, a farewell to RJ.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, it's a farewell, but really not.
How can
Why
we
is
miss
that?
him if he doesn't go away?
Because someone is staying in the area.
Right.
At least having a presence in the area.
Right.
Yeah, oh boy.
And I'm the
Now I know.
last.
Mike, you
to
knew
know.
about this. This
No,
is
I
not
didn't know.
new.
Stop, don't. I'll get to you in a minute. Anyway, join us Friday, August 24th from 5 to 7 p.m. or later maybe at Quench in Rockville. Come say hi to all of us from the show and enjoy drink specials. We're going to be picking our favorite drinks.
Tomorrow night.
And you're going to have to be a proxy for Oscar Santana.
Okay, no problem.
Who apparently is having some sort of major meltdown at his day job.
Yes.
Where they have had all sorts of computer issues.
Oh, dear.
Do you know why we've set aside 2+ hours to say goodbye to RJ?
Why is that?
Because it takes him that long to say goodbye.
Exactly. Come say hi to all of us from the show. We'll have some very impressive food. Also on special. It all happens at Quench Friday the 21st. That's tomorrow night. 5 to 7 p.m. 9712 Treville Gateway Drive in Rockville. For more information, go to quenchnation.com or click their banner ad on our website. And Mark, you can go begin the festivities right now and bring the people from Quench in here.
Fetch the
as
guests.
I start. But before I go any further, I have a medical update for you today on the show. But I wanted to start the show with a conversation I have with my wife last night. And in the middle of it, she says, well, our RJ is going to be, renting a room. I said, what? He's going to be, I said, not with us. He said, no. RJ, unbeknownst to me, has developed a relationship with Carla's grandparents.
What? Now hold it. Let me jump in.
My jaw
I'm agog.
hit the floor.
Let me jump in.
RJ is going to be renting a room from Carla's grandparents.
The same grandparents that had Lucy the dog?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now this is
Ernie was over at the house yesterday. He's an amazing fix-it guy, and he's fixing our stove door that busted when Carla spilled balsamic vinegar behind the stove, and we tried to pull it out by the door, and the door ripped off, and Ernie helped us out and fixed everything and made it work.
Certainly fixed things with RJ. Now, here's my question. I know that for months, it seemed, you were trying to broker a deal where RJ would live with Carla's mother.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really trying to broker it.
Well, no, you inspired it or you fostered it or you at least tried to.
She had a room that she wanted to rent on the bottom floor of this house.
Right.
RJ said, I'll do it. I'd like to do it. And then RJ never did a damn thing about it.
When you made the connection between RJ and Linda,
nothing
happened yet. When RJ works behind your back and you're out of the loop, he's signing papers.
No, you see, nothing has happened.
Okay.
Am I right? No money has exchanged hands.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct, but that's not acceptable to me. It might be to like the nice Carla family, but to me, I think that you might want to put up a little something.
Pony it up.
Well, we've talked about that yesterday.
Talked about it.
Yeah.
Are you definitely going to be moving your stuff into their home?
Yes, I am.
When is it going to happen? What date?
Well, the 15th of September is the date that it becomes available.
So you're shutting down the Reston office?
Yes, I am.
That beautiful home that I take you to and from?
You said that you spoke to me about this. I had no idea. This is my wife's family.
And it was your wife and Linda who brought it to my attention. I didn't pursue it.
Was this at your dinner that you happened to have with my lovely bride while I was out of town?
Actually, Mike, it was probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Really?
Wow.
Linda brought it up to my attention that her father has space in the basement. I went to check it out. I said,
Look at me.
I love it.
Look at me. Okay.
I'm looking right at you.
Look at Mike.
I'm watching you. I'm watching
I know you are.
Well, in what town is
the
this?
De Niro
Is
thing.
this house?
It's in Manassas.
It's like 5 seconds from this door.
Well, it's not
how
5
nice!
seconds.
You know, Mike, that's nice because
closer.
When RJ is in
and
town,
you've been hanging out with Ernie?
So this is the first time I've seen Ernie since the day I went to check the house out.
Okay. All right. Just amazing.
But remember, we
all right.
saw Lucy and it was fun.
Okay, but I'm confused.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Yes,
Michael Holstein has come in from Quench.
Yes,
and more importantly, as much as I love Michael, Michael has brought in a really one of the best bartenders I have seen in a very very long time.
Yes,
I was behaving myself. She's been here since like before the show. Would you introduce your bartender, please?
This is actually she's actually not a bartender. She's playing
not?
one today. She's our marketing director. This
the
is,
marketing director. That means she'll have free time at the
she
event
will have
tomorrow.
plenty of time to socialize and schmooze at the event. This is Diana Ash.
Hi,
and,
Diana.
Hi, Diana.
She is
Hi, Diana. How are
a
you?
phenomenal ambassador for Quench, and
Yes,
she does
you say
bring
that again.
She does bring
Makes a
with
hell of a
her-
lot better impression than you do. That's for
No,
sure.
I don't disagree. That's
Wow.
why I bring her.
Good Lord.
She's also.
As a matter of fact, Michael, there's plenty of room in the kitchen if you
No,
want to
no,
take a break.
I wouldn't be offended by that.
Yeah, just you can step right down the hall and there's TV.
Let me just say this.
This happens a lot
For
when I
those of
bring
you
her
that might not
places.
be watching us on Ustream today, for those of you that might be listening, it is my job as a broadcaster to paint a picture, to create. And I will simply make this, for the purposes of a compliment, I will simply say, the dress on a woman that is fit to perfection, there's really nothing that compares to that.
That's right.
As far
Amen.
as a look. I put that beyond the well-fitted jean.
Oh, yeah.
I put that beyond the bikini. I put that. There's something that is
about a perfect dress,
a throwback to the classic era of days gone by, when men would fight for their country and they would put murals of these women on the side of their bombers as they would go into battle. And I can understand why that would happen. And I just had
May I offer this? May I offer this while you collect your thoughts?
Yes, go right ahead.
Today, she is a perfect match of hardware and software.
God,
I don't even know
you
what that
now
means.
are you trying to out like 1940s me?
No,
Are
they
you
weren't talking about.
Hey, she's a perfect match of hardware and software.
All I'm saying is that when ingredient A and ingredient B go together
all right,
perfectly,
just calm down. You know what? I hate it when you try to outdo me.
I'm not.
I really hate that.
How can I outdo someone whose comment ended with blah, 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 blah?
And I'm sure neither of you have noticed, but she also has dimples.
Oh, I have.
Very cute.
All right, so that's
dimples.
all of us now.
So since
you
we're
know.
speaking of Diana,
you know what?
let me
You
tell
know
you
what?
she'll be in,
I don't do suck up very well, but I'm with the brothers suck up here. They do it better than any
That's right.
human being, and it
Yes,
pisses me off
yes,
when they
we
try
do.
to. But anyway, Michael Holstein is here from Quench, where we are going to be tomorrow night from 5 to 7. First of all, let me ask you a question, Michael. What is the name of that road?
Yeah, how do you say it?
Is it Travile?
Treville,
What is it?
Right?
I've listened all week with great enjoyment to
Good.
your
Thank
attempts
you.
to speak it. It is Treville Gateway.
Treville.
Treville. Just
Well,
a
who
simple
told me
Treville.
Trevile?
And why do they spell it that way?
I have no idea.
Mark.
Ronick, who lives nearby, should know better.
Mark.
There's another street called Travilla.
There is a Trevilla.
Where the hell did Mark Ronick go?
I have no
something
idea.
to take care
AWOL.
of.
I think he's washing dishes.
Right now, Mark is also having a perfect match of hardware and software.
I'm almost 1,000% sure you told me Trevile.
No, I said Treville.
You never did. No,
I'll
you
get
didn't.
The tape. I'll get the tape.
He's so good at
He
that.
won't get the tape.
Well, I said Treville,
There
and
is no
somebody.
tape.
When you look at it, it's Traville. It's Treville, and I said Treville the first time, and somebody corrected
Let's
me.
blame Oscar. He's not here.
All right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that was the Bolivian pronunciation.
I
of
just
it.
checked out who told you that, Mike. It was actually RJ when he was talking to Carla's grandfather.
That's it.
This is in the newer section of Rockville. Right,
Yeah,
Michael? Is that
yeah,
correct?
We sort of we're kind of in the taint of Montgomery County. We
Oh.
straddle Rockville, Potomac, and North Potomac.
No, but there is a part of Rockville because we worked in
It's a very
Rockville. We had a studio off
Right.
Rockville
Yes,
Pike,
yes. We're
and it was
near-
right across from the Cemetery Giant. Where,
Right.
seriously, you walked into that. They had ambulances in front of this giant food store, which is a grocery store for those of you around the country. And it was that part of Rockville. This is far away from that part of Rockville.
It's far.
That's
away from
the
that.
worst part of Rockville.
That is the ugly part of Rockville. We're in the
Right.
nicer part of Rockville.
And so this is a new area of Rockville? or?
It's really right off of Shady Grove Roads. If you're taking 270 out there, it's about a minute off the highway, and it's a new part of Rockville. It's a strip we're in with 4 or 5 other restaurants and some boutiques and some day spas that I believe are legitimate.
It's really a neat place.
Which is funny
I've been there.
because it doesn't look newish.
We shot some stuff.
There's
for,
plenty of newish people there.
Rockville is a very newish town.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Hence Mark Ronick living there.
Hi.
Good luck fighting for bargains.
Hey,
call that
Lowell, let's go to Quench. Hi. If you'd like more information, go to quenchnation.com or click their banner ad on our website. We're going to get back to Michael Holstein in just a second here to talk about the drinks that we are going to be enjoying today and the ones we're going to pick for our appearance tomorrow night at Quench. And also want to talk to him about the television show that he is executive producer of.
Oh, yeah.
And that is The Regulars, which I'm doing with Oscar Santana. And what is you have a role in this too? You were there. Do you have anything?
I'm just helping out.
You're helping out. Okay, so Mark's part of this thing too. So The Regulars, and apparently, well, why don't we start with that? This television show that began with Oscar Santana, and now you foolishly made the decision to let me get involved in this, and you told me you had an update on this television program that you wanted to give us on the air.
I do, and I'm sorry to give it without.
Should I give you a drum roll?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
very
will
good.
need a drum roll. I don't want to do this without Oscar here, but
Sounds
he's
exciting.
been tipped off anyway.
Okay, very good.
The how do I do the drum roll? Do I wait?
It's there.
It's
You don't
there.
have. Yeah, it's there. Trust
Very
me.
good.
I'll do
Okay.
this for you. I'll
So
do
here
this
we
for you,
go.
too.
The announcement about the Regulars is we did a webisode last year with Senator Cooley, and he Yeah, that worked out great.
He's a great guy.
Good, yes,
very energetic,
very cooperative.
Yes.
Also, good guy, very good guy. Not especially cooperative. We recast it with Mike as the sage, wise bartender who's going to help Oscar on his mission to find the new drinking buddy. We filmed a little bit of a teaser at Quench a few months ago now, which Mike and Rob saw before, and I think
wonderful.
You all be able to see it. It's at right now. It's parked at quenchnation.com/theregulars.
Okay.
And we'll link to it from your site too if you want it there.
Yeah, we'll put it up on Facebook, and we'll put it up also on our regular website.
The exciting news is that we have been offered by a major cable network the opportunity to do a full pilot of the show on their budget, on their dime.
Hey,
we're going to travel for the weekend. We're going to do it.
Wow.
And not to put the cart before the horse, but generally when you get an offer to do a pilot, that means you have to really S the bed to not get picked up for a real show.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Mike, no pressure then.
So we're closing in on getting this on TV. We're actually going to do a casting session for aspiring wingmen for Oscar next Saturday, September 1st at Quench at 9:00. I expect just a crowd of degenerates, but we'll see.
If you are, what are the criteria that you are looking for these young women or men women?
Absolutely, women or men, all ages, races, sides, whatever. I don't know what we're looking for. We'll know it when we find it.
Okay, very cool.
We're going to pick about 8 people who are aspiring wingmen for Oscar.
And I still have the job of letting them down
Mike
periodically.
is still the Simon Cowell of the show from behind the bar.
Delightful.
Which you'll
Can't
see.
think of a better. And now the way I picture this is I'll be reviewing the tapes of what they do with Oscar when they're out and about, and then I'll be able to face them at the bar with the towel over my shoulder and tell them to get bent.
That's exactly right. You're going to, I think the way we envision is they'll go out and do their thing with Oscar, and you'll look it over kind of from afar, and the end scene of each week will be them sitting around the bar while you're sort of chewing into the ones listening.
You are not a regular,
right? You ordered ordered the Zima. You're not a regular,
right?
You blew it.
Mike, you walk into a bar, you want to have some social interaction with people. You don't want to sit there like a bump on a log,
right?
And a bump on a log. I want to use terms that were used in the 1930s.
We're gonna do all 1950s bar theme.
Yes,
I can assist you with that.
Very good. Well, that's that round of applause for the whole stage.
Thank you.
We're doing a pilot.
That is so cool.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting, and I think people who check out the trailer will be very pleased with the performance of Mike, and stick around through the whole trailer because the blooper reel is the best part.
Do you want to hear? I actually brought up some of the trailer. Would you like to hear a snippet of it?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Roll a little
and
the
you can
trailer.
find this at quenchnation.com, right?
It's at
audio
quenchnation.com/theregulars. Yeah.
Scene opens.
It's
Mike
actually
is
a porn.
polishing the bar.
Well, that was what we weren't going to tell people yet. It's all nude, but tastefully done.
Rob, describe what you're seeing here.
Oscar is at the bar, and Mike talks to him.
I'll take a water.
Don't have it.
Do you have any skinny drinks?
Skinny drinks? What?
Organic vodkas?
No.
Tequila Sunrise?
Don't have it.
Zima?
We're out.
Sex on the beach?
No sex on the beach. Do you want a drink or what?
I need something to get me out of this funk.
Well, if you want to get out of a funk, why don't you have a real goddamn drink and not a Zima or a sex on the beach? What is wrong with you?
I got it. How about a Rusty Trimble?
No.
What do you suggest?
I suggest you stop being such a pussy and order a real drink. Oh. What the hell is wrong with you?
It's cable.
Lost my drinking buddy.
Oh, you lost your drinking buddy. Oh, boo-hoo, I lost my drinking buddy. Do you know how many drinking buddies I've lost over the years? Hundreds. You know how many friends in general I've lost? It happens. You know what you need to do? You got to stop this pity party, get back on the bar stool, get back out into the bars, and get out there and get it done.
And there you go.
There we go.
Looks
Very
good.
nice.
A little bit of the trailer for the regulars.
You really do bring a certain anger to the bartender that I enjoy very much.
Natural.
Certainly.
It's natural.
He's well cast in the role.
Yeah, I think so.
That it was fun to do, and it took a very short amount of time because the fact is that I really did feel like it was a fit, and that's thanks to Michael doing that. And we'll see what happens. I know how TV works. He knows how TV works. He's right, especially when I logged some time with toddlers and tiaras last night. You really do have to S the bed, not to get a reality show on television.
And your credit will read at the end of the regulars, Mikey Boo Boo.
You'll be famous.
Amazing. All right, now we're going to be doing a little pre-party for Quench tomorrow night in Rockville, and it's in really a nice area of Rockville, Treville. Gateway.
It rhymes with David Seville.
Treville Gateway Drive in Rockville, 9712. So for all of you, you got to come out and see us. We're doing a meet and greet. We'll be there from 5 to 7, maybe later, and could end up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
I don't know. Are there hotels around there?
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Very close.
All right,
Very
good.
close.
Or
And
you could-
I have a big basement too, so feel free to crash there.
Excellent.
Mike, or you're welcome at my home afterwards.
Oh, really?
Sure.
How far away are you?
5 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so this has become your little hang.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice little getaway.
If you've ever thought Disneyland was the happiest place on earth, you've never been to Mark's house.
So the cool thing about Quench is you are stocked with mixologists, right?
Yeah, so our theme when we opened it is we wanted to bring in great mixologists and kind of take the cool urban drinking experience out to the suburbs. So
speaking of that, there's something in front of me right now.
Yeah, I was going to segue to that. So right now you're going to try, hopefully enjoy one of our, actually I think our most popular drink. This is called the Honey Badger.
And who's serving that drink, Michael?
This is Diana Ash, our marketing director.
Thank you, Diana.
Who will be
Diana
attired at least similarly, if not better, tomorrow for the event.
What?
I don't know
better?
what's
How can you
possible.
possibly be?
I'll take her
dressed
shopping
better?
after this to find something
I like
appropriate.
the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Honey Badger. This drink has
Oh
a
my
kick.
God! What is?
This
Is there an onion in here?
There is.
There is. This is a jalapeno.
That's not an onion?
That's like pickled beet. So one of the things we do is we make everything in house. If we have bitters, we
yum.
make bitters. If we have grapefruit juice, we squeeze it.
I'll take a quart of that bitters, by the way.
I got you covered, Rob.
Am I the only one that would ever mention that Diana looks a lot like Natalie Portman?
She does look similar to Natalie
Don't you
Portman.
see that?
Why don't you put your penis
Not all
back in
Jews
your
look the
pants?
same, Rob.
All right?
Must I, Mike?
I think she's much more beautiful than Natalie
Well, of
All right,
course.
stop it. Now you don't pile on as well, for God's sake. Please.
I said I'm just sending Diana. I'm staying home.
I want to not like it. I want to not like
Right.
this.
It's interesting. It's sweet. It's spicy at the same time.
It's an interesting drink.
Yeah.
I'm personally too big a pussy to drink it on a regular basis, but this is jalapeno infused tequila, lime juice, honey, ginger ale, a dash
allergic
of
to
beet
tequila.
syrup, and pickled beets to garnish.
I love beets.
Right.
It's become our number one seller.
I'm so accustomed almost
This
every
is your
drink-
number one seller?
Shockingly, it has become the top selling
Really?
drink.
I never order a cocktail without a pickled beet in it. But the fact that it's a tequila-based drink and it tastes like this does not taste like a tequila-based
Right.
drink.
No,
This
and
is
that's the thing. I
delicious.
took a couple of big gulps, and I do not like tequila.
I like
I bet
tequila.
at one
Great.
point you like tequila. Everyone likes tequila to one night.
I like tequila on my 18th birthday.
Sure. Was that when you turned
That will tell you how long ago it was
Yeah.
that tequila didn't like me.
You were made ill, yes.
And I have not visited regular tequila. I'll have a margarita grudgingly occasionally, but I don't go near tequila. Can't really even taste it.
You don't
in there.
taste it.
My
What's
wife-
the fruit part of this? What's the fruitiness in it?
There's some fresh lime juice in there,
Okay.
and there is look at me looking at my cheat sheet. Fresh lime juice, honey, and the beet syrup actually adds a little
And
sweetness to it too.
speaking of you,
And honey, I miss you.
I like the spiciness.
speaking of
Yeah.
you in high school and tequila, didn't you go to high school with her, Margarita, grudgingly?
Margarita grudgingly.
I remember she was, I think, a year behind you.
No, Laura Warner
Yeah.
was a gymnast and absolutely gorgeous,
Yeah.
and agreed to go out with me on my 18th birthday. And this is my whole high school career, really. This
Right.
is what happened.
You're
and,
the funny guy, Mike.
And Laura Warner went out with Tommy Hunter on my birthday. Called me that afternoon and stood me up, and then I found out she was going out with Tommy Hunter. I think it was Tommy Hunter or Bobby Hunter. The Hunter boys were
Both of
very
them are.
popular. I had two women that both liked the Hunter boys that I had dated.
Turned out
And
she went out with both of them at the same time. She was a gymnast, you know.
It was because I think it was Ava Freiberg, who was the Swedish foreign exchange
You're
student.
making up these names.
No,
I know.
Ava Freiberg's still on Facebook,
And she
because
says-
she lives in the States now.
She says, you're going to have your birthday by
No, she
yourself.
said, I like you, but I really want to go out with Bobby Hunter.
And what is your
And that's
name?
when I just wanted to light the Hunter's house on
I
fire.
bet.
And what is your name, gymnast?
Laura Warner.
Oh, I thought, who's Ava Freiberg?
There was. I remember all the women I went out with. There was Laura Warner. There was Sue Flynn. There was Melissa Young.
Yes.
And Ava Freiberg.
Wow.
And then there was Candace
Bushnell.
Bushnell.
Of all, if you had to
I didn't
choose-
go out with Candace. I just went to the prom.
If
with
you
her.
had to choose one at the time,
Yeah.
who would it have been?
I didn't go out with her.
No, I know.
And as Don likes to point out, did you get anything?
Right.
Did you get any?
Got nothing. Of all those women that you mentioned, who would be the number one seed back then? Because I have a guess.
As far as looks?
Yeah, as far as
No,
what?
no, total package.
Oh, that's hard.
Okay, here's a word we haven't used yet today: bonability.
There, now that's a different story.
That's the total package.
Well,
The bonability was for other, like, that weren't dating excursions.
They were
Bonability
because
was
it
more
involved-
like
it involved-
bonability was more like the end of a Friday night party.
Involved.
Right.
Okay, bonability involves access. How about
And I don't remember the vulnerability, but there was one naughty girl in town, and
There always is.
Now here's
She
a
was
lesson.
42.
Here's a lesson,
This
young
is to
ladies.
her.
Young ladies, here's a lesson to all of you. I don't remember this woman's name, but I remember that she was a bad girl, and it was a dream come true. But I don't remember her name.
Margarita grudgingly.
I think that was her name.
Right.
But of those 5, total package, if you had to choose one to, and you have to weigh all factors, bonability, dateability.
That's so hard to say.
It's got to be Ava Freiberg based on the name.
Ava Freiberg was gorgeous.
Yeah, and also...
And she had the Swedish accent.
Exotic.
Yeah, she was exotic. And we were buddies, and that's what I was, buddies.
You were the clown.
Yeah.
He is
It
the
sucked.
entertainer.
It was not fun. All right, so, Michael, what are we going to do as far as you wanted us to pick the drinks for tomorrow night at Quench, right?
So here's what we're going to do. We have 6 members of the cast coming in.
Right.
Each of you is going to pick a drink. Mark had originally sent me kind of your go-tos, and we've since decided that we're going to go with...
That was
something-
a real Larry King swallow you just did there.
Yeah, I know. Well, I am old. I'm aging. I am aging.
Not only that, Mike, he was very worked up about Ava Freiberg.
We all were.
These are things I look for in a young
All right,
date.
we go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. There we go.
You want to rephrase that?
Yes. Nothing sacred in this show. So we're going to pick our drinks.
Everyone's
Is that
going to
what
pick
we're
the
gonna
drinks. Mike's already claimed the Hemingway daiquiri, which Diana can actually go pour some of those for
Oh,
us
Diana,
now.
could you make me a Hemingway daiquiri? Oh, thank you.
Mark, who's already had a
God.
special event at Quench, is going to drink.
Wow.
I don't know what we call it other than Mark's effeminate marshmallow drink.
Yes, you had a more degrading name.
It's
but
called
we won't say
Ironic,
that
I
here.
think, but
I
yeah,
so
we'll
wanna
call
see
it something. It's going to
Diana
involve
in a
marshmallow vodka.
lingerie ad.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That subtly?
Well, she's not in here.
Yeah,
know.
but she's probably going to hear the program.
Are there going to be any more Dianas at the Quench tomorrow night?
We have some other.
Very good.
hostesses
Is it gonna
who
look
you will
like-
be pleased with?
What Mike is hoping.
Russians.
What Mike
we're
is,
bringing Ava Freiberg back.
Mike has a picture in his mind what it's going to look like at Quench, and it best described as a Robert Palmer video.
It could
Can
be
there just
a
be
lot of hair
lots
slick
of of her everywhere?
We're going to take, all right, so we're going to pick our drinks. When we come back, we'll go around the room. And Michael, do you want to give us a choice of drinks to pick?
I brought our whole drink menu. I think I know where Rob's going to go already because we
All right.
make our own old fashioned.
Yeah, Rob will probably make his own. Buzz might have his own, but we'll pick our drinks, and Mark will be a proxy for Oscar Santana. When we come back, we'll continue this fine, fun show. And I'll also tell you about my newest...
Yeah.
I don't want to say it with Diana here.
Well, she's gone right
She's
now.
gone making the drink. I'll tell you really quick. When we come back on the Michael Mayer Show. Welcome back to MikeO'MaraShow.com. Our second segment is brought to you by Wait Not.
Nice.
The experts at Wait Not understand the emotions that lead you to cheat on any diet. Their advice: don't beat yourself up over it.
No.
What you want to do, or don't beat yourself up over it.
That's right, Mike.
Or
Don't
Bob.
do it.
I just had a couple of sips of the tequila.
That's right.
That just increases the stress and makes the need to cheat even worse. Wait Not recommends you jot down the cheat and what might have set it off. We have some brand new information that came in from Wait Not. I don't know, did you see it?
I didn't see it yet.
Did
no.
you see it?
Not yet,
Okay,
no.
that's therein lies my dilemma.
I didn't get that.
Oh, probably
Nor
just
did I-
me.
Nor did I.
Maybe.
You might want to tell her just not to
I'll
always
remind
send it
her
to
of
me.
that, yes.
Wait Not recommends you jot down the cheat, what might have set it off. That way you can learn from your missteps and avoid repeating them. Rob, talk for just a split second about the fact that even when you hit a plateau,
Which I did this week for a couple days.
Wait Not has strategies to help you get out of that plateau.
They gave me this idea. It's in the book. It's you just read the book, you know how to do it. And I've been doing great. I've been losing over a pound a day for over 3 weeks. But I sort of stalled for a couple days, which sometimes happens.
And
So
it was you were still on the program.
absolutely
You just were stalling
just
a little
stalling,
bit.
and
Okay.
I'd exercised and nothing. So I go into the book and it says, if you reach a plateau, try to have an apple day. I said, what's an apple day? So I keep reading. You stay on the supplements. You do everything you would normally do, but in the morning you skip your coffee. And then throughout the day, you can have up to 6 apples. Spread them out as much as you want.
Right.
This morning, I'm down 2.5 pounds.
There you go.
In
Wow.
one day.
That's
And I
amazing.
feel dynamite because you know what? I never got hungry yesterday, but you fool the body by just eating the apples, and it helps you out. They have a correction for everything. And again, after 26 days, I'm down 27 pounds, I think.
Thank you, Dan.
It's amazing.
Thank you. All right, I'm sorry.
Focus, Mike. dear.
Jesus Christ. I
Focus,
just wanted
dear.
him to give his little spiel. And the experts at Wait Not are always there to help. Just send your question by email to support@waitnot.com, or to start your new life, call 855-934-4486 or visit waitnot.com. Wait Not, unbelievable results you can believe in. And Diana has just brought us the Hemingway daiquiri. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
this is
boy.
our version of the Hemingway daiquiri. And let me say also, if you want a palate cleanser,
Yeah.
We make amazing food too. We're a bar, but we make just phenomenal food.
That's true. I've had it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Mark has frequently had it.
This
we do
here-
great burgers. We make our own hot dogs in house. We have
You make your own hot
we
dogs?
make half smokes. Yeah.
Oh my
Really?
God!
They're
A DC
incredible.
tradition.
Not
That
our
is.
sausage place.
This Hemingway daiquiri that's your quench specialty Hemingway daiquiri,
Yes.
I will tell you, is my go-to when I'm down south, they'd say.
Really?
I love the Hemingway daiquiri. Michael, tell us what's in the Hemingway daiquiri.
I will.
Oh, sorry.
The Hemingway is
man.
made by our bartenders Matt and Jillian. It's light rum, Luxardo.
You're not drinking the
maraschino,
Hemingway daiquiri, Buzz.
No, I'm not.
Grapefruit.
Why
juice.
not?
I don't. What kind of liquor is it? Did you say? again?
Light rum.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm not agreeing with me. I like the first one very much.
Okay, well, stick with the first one then.
I
Isn't
will.
that typical?
It is, isn't it?
Also, Mike, he's afraid he might spill some on his skirt.
Or on your board.
This is a Hemingway daiquiri with a kick.
Yeah, it's got some punch to it.
We pour generous drinks there. We don't.
Jesus
we don't
Christ,
pour anything.
Michael.
We do well.
Michael.
So this is fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, fresh squeezed lime juice, orgeat, grapefruit twist.
Hey, Diana.
Maraschino and light rum.
I really like you. But anyway, okay, so what is it again? What's in here?
This the Hemingway is light rum, Luxardo maraschino, which is a light cherry liqueur, grapefruit juice, which we fresh squeeze, lime juice, which we fresh squeeze, orgeat, which I still don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Because he's plugged in, Mike.
Yeah, I my job there is to kind of stay out of the expert's way.
Sure, I understand.
honestly.
Right.
So,
All right, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Oh boy, listen.
Hey, listen.
Listen up. I like this a lot, but I think it needs to be dumbed down.
all right,
I want to dumb it down a little bit.
for your drink.
We'll call it the
tomorrow?
Dumb Hemingway.
I want to.
Dummingway.
Mike O'Mara's Dumber Hemingway.
Done.
The dumbing
It's-
We'll put it on the menu.
Less of the cherry, less of the whatever the foo-foo, and a little more of the citrus. You see, I like my booze just the rum and the grape and the rum and root beer.
That's the O'Mara.
I like grain alcohol and Diet Dr. Pepper.
Right.
We'll serve it in a nice big trash can for you.
In a shoe. No, this is very, very exotic. This
It is.
Yeah. This is a Mark Ronick kind of drink.
Oh, thank
No,
you.
there's no,
Mark and his-
there's no
Mark and
marshmallow
his
vodka in it, so we can't be the wrong.
candy ass friends.
Thanks.
Well, listen, so tomorrow's
a day of compliments.
We'll dumb it down for you tomorrow. What we want to do tomorrow is I'm a degenerate gambler in my spare time, so I'd like to turn this into a wagering event. What we're going to do is have each of you pick the drink. Whoever's drink sells the best, we're going to take all of our proceeds from that drink, donate it to the charity of the choice of the winner, and
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
as for
nice.
what you guys want to do for the loser, whoever sells the least, I'll leave that to you. I would suggest some kind of horrible, embarrassing bet.
That sounds good.
But
I like that.
Just
so we'll make it a
And
contest.
let's pick a really bad drink for Oscar.
Okay.
Oscar's drink is
All right,
is-
I can do that.
The Santana is
it's Drano.
Creme de menthe with
Gin and sand.
Jello and tomato juice.
Perfect.
and you make your own sand in house, so that's nice.
We do. It's a house-made sand that we spend a lot of time on. We're very proud of that.
Michael, you put any drugs in this booze?
No, that's
Smells druggy to me.
well, we'll see in about an hour.
See.
He had a cranberry juice and woke up.
It smells druggy to me.
I'll be honest with you, I have completely forgotten what I was going to talk about on the show.
Oh, I know.
If you
Because
guys
I'm
need
very
some,
curious.
if you need some food to stem the tide here, we brought some of our
please.
baked goods too. We do all of our baking in house too. We made our house-made Charm City cookies, which are basically a little cake-like cookie with about 3 inches of chocolate on
House-made
top.
Charm City cookie.
Yes, yes.
taste to your mouth?
Are those the round things with the chocolate on top?
Yes, and then the other things are our house-made Twinkie of the day. This is a Bananas Foster Twinkie. They change just about every day.
Twinkie
Oh,
of
give me the
day.
bananas.
Yes.
Wow. Twink-
So
Thank you
these
very
might
much.
these
Thank
might
you. I don't
slow
have
the
enough
flow
hands.
of the liquor hitting the bloodstream.
Right. Might be necessary.
Or speed up the work of the endocrinologist when they have to rush in and save us.
Yeah, either
Oh
way.
my
Either way, it's
God.
going to end poorly.
It's good.
Oh my God! Will somebody besides me have a goddamn?
I'm all in.
Sure. Let's.
Please, RJ. Help yourself.
That's just so
So
good.
I'm looking at the Twinkie is a darker color. It has a different complexion. I know it's always color with me, but what do you put in the Twinkie batter that makes it a chocolate-looking batter?
Because this is a Bananas Foster one. There's shockingly alcohol. In
What?
There's rum in the batter of
Wow.
that one too.
Are you allowed to have an open flame within 15 miles of Quench?
No, we have a no open flame policy.
Because
at
I
all
think those
times.
Twinkies could take the whole town down like Chicago.
Yeah, I'm worried about any fire near us on Friday night when you guys bring the.
Will
grill
you
in
have
there.
this kind of stuff when people come out tomorrow night?
Oh yeah. We have the full menu ready tomorrow.
Oh, good.
We'll
Okay.
have the burgers
Excellent.
going, the hot dogs going. We make great wings, great fries. We'll have all the desserts.
We're talking to Michael Holstein and Diana Diana Ash from Quench, and we are going to be out there tomorrow from 5 to 7 in Rockville. If you are anywhere near Rockville, if you are, normally have one of those ridiculous commutes on the way home, and you don't want to slog through that on a Friday night, stop by, get there early, get there. What time do the doors open tomorrow?
Oh no, we're open from 11:30 on. So.
Good. I would.
You're serving lunch right now, aren't you?
Serving lunch right now.
Yeah.
I will
Absolutely.
say there is a serious because I just don't want to fake it and drive around Rockville all day, and I am not going to drive from here to Rockville at 5 o'clock.
Right.
I will seriously be probably getting in there about 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'd say that's what I was shooting for as well.
So if you're there early, you might see some of us there, or we might drive around the block a few times. It depends, But get there. It's 5 to 7. We're going to be there, and really come out to Rockville and celebrate RJ leaving town.
Yes, exactly.
That's what we're excited
By
about.
the way,
It is a day, Mike. It is a day of temporary goodbyes.
And reflection.
It's not goodbye.
It's not
just,
goodbye now that he's renting a goddamn house in my wife's grandparents' home.
It's not goodbye. It's just
renting
so
a room.
It's just so long.
I'm downsizing, Mike.
Hey,
Come on.
Carla, I was wondering if I could move in with your grandparents.
No, it was presented to me.
Be sure not to tell Mr. Oldman.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it went down.
That's exactly how
I need a place to crash between football exhibitions. Do you have a corner in your basement where I could roll up some newspapers and snooze?
It's not a corner. It's a whole basement.
All right.
Hey, Mike. Yesterday you did that wonderful bit. You were my mom, and she did end up listening to it.
How'd that go?
And
Wonderful bit.
she laughed hysterically. She thought it was very funny.
Good.
She had a comment that your mom sounded more New York than my mom did.
It's true.
And you get to see her tomorrow night. I just found out today
Quench.
that they are going to. Both my parents will be there.
I can see it now. She'll come up to you and she'll say, "Do you know, Mike? My son's cocktail is the very best."
But the disturbing
my
thing is both my
God.
parents told me yesterday that the content was right on.
Yeah. I'm not
So
surprised.
apparently
Really?
you hit the nail on the head.
That's
I
scary.
forgot we're going into Ronick world.
Yeah.
We're going into Ronick
We'll
world.
see a lot of his there.
Ronick Land.
A lot of his family. That's what I meant.
You have to be careful, Mike.
You have to be
No, he doesn't.
careful.
Yes, absolutely.
Why
We
is
don't
that?
want to annoy anyone.
Why
No,
start
please.
now?
Let's pick the drinks, and then I'm going to talk about testosterone.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if there was a
I have it narrowed
segue?
down to two.
What are they?
The two I've circled here. I have it narrowed down to Tequila Mockingbird, which is tequila, ginger, vanilla, lime, and egg white. I haven't tried that, so I don't know.
Sounds kind of interesting.
I've also not tried, but am intrigued by 50 Shades of Grey Goose.
Yes.
Grey Goose, cayenne, mango, blood orange juice, vanilla syrup, a squeeze of lime, and some kind of float I can't pronounce.
Oh, it's the seed of
Please
the,
go
it's-
with that one.
You like
yeah,
that?
Because the 50
Doesn't it
Shades of
make
Grey
sense?
is perfect for
I'd
you.
like to
Yeah.
try it.
No,
you
since
know,
Buzz
but
is known,
sure.
I think, as Dr. Sex on this show. That's probably the way to
That's
go.
what we
It's
always
not-
call it.
Carla is through both the first two books and is
Wow.
going to begin to read the third book.
Now I understand the worm turns in the third book.
Oh, that's
does
a
that
good
mean?
trick
Well,
if you can do it.
Like she flips on him?
No, toward the end of the book, what I've heard is that we then hear from Mr. Gray's perspective. It's been her yapping for
okay.
the first three books.
Oh.
But toward the end
well,
of the
isn't
third
he
one-
the dirty birdie, though? Isn't he the guy that
he
ties her up?
He
and
shows
like,
Anastasia's the ways of love.
Okay,
and
very good.
bondage.
All right, what's going to be your drink?
I would. You said you
Buzz is
had
gonna
an
have the 50
old-fashioned on the
Shades of
list.
Grey.
Can
You're
you read
certainly
it to
welcome
me?
to choose something else, but the old-fashioned, Rob, is Buffalo Trace bourbon, rhubarb bitters, muddled orange, and strawberry and simple syrup.
I will go with that.
Yes, I
yeah,
figured- I
that
figured
sounds
you might.
fantastic. But can I ask for one thing?
course.
Even with the strawberry,
Yep.
can it still be served
Strawberry.
with an additional cherry? Because the
Yes.
cherry is the best part.
Sure. Hey, there's your pen back.
Yes, he loves his maraschino cherries.
Yeah, just like Mike hates the maraschino in his his amazingly different.
I'll have a ba-dee-ba-dee-loo. Come here, Christmas. Without you.
The amazing disappearing Hemingway daiquiri, and there it goes.
And then for Oscar, we'll come up with something called the sugary douchebag or something like that.
How about the no show?
The no-show's
The
fine.
no-show, and it's made of gin, grits, and pea.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
In no particular order.
No,
yeah,
it's-
it's house-made pea after asparagus.
So, so Diana.
Oh dear.
You live near Quinch?
I sure do.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's terrible. That's horrible. What am I doing?
Do you have a basement for rent?
All right,
God.
time to move on. Let me see.
mother and
got the
brother could
Quench
just
party.
kill me.
And incidentally, if you want to bring something else out, whatever you're doing, I don't want to interrupt your rhythm of what you're doing. So, Michael, just go right ahead. We got the regulars thing in. I put something up on my Facebook page. It's the Irish president, Michael Higgins.
Yes.
If anybody has seen this,
I haven't
it's
watched it yet, but I've heard
hysterical.
about it.
He's this little gnome-like Irishman, and he's yelling at a Tea Party guy, and it's kind of funny.
The general opinion on Facebook is don't argue with an Irishman.
Right. Yes,
because he
exactly.
seems to be quite fussy. Can you recreate it for us?
This Irish voice like that. So they said, I'll tell you your Tea Party. What you
He
already
calls the guy a wanker at the end.
Oh,
which is
dear, that's not
really
good.
funny.
I'll tell you, I think the bottom of society ought to be protected, and there ought to be basic rights of health care for the
Basic
people.
what?
If you're walking out in the hot sun and you have 2 or 3 jobs in the light of the day, you ought to at least have a safety net at the bottom.
Sure.
And I don't understand how are these people, you're fine, generous people, you Americans, and why these Tea Partiers, they do one thing, they make fear. They manufacture fear.
And he goes on and on, then he calls the guy a wanker.
Yeah, I guess the guy is a conservative talk show host in this country. And
Yes,
he
I don't. They don't mention the name, which is kind of cool,
right.
because they're sending out this viral video, and you don't get the information on the radio host, which
Right.
is hysterical, because that's got to be killing him.
No
in the way
pub
it's
for
done.
him.
What's the name of the Irish president?
His name is Michael Higgins.
I have tape of him.
Michael D. Higgins.
If you'd like to hear, here he is, right here.
The first look I got at him was in the
not
old
him.
ruins on the top of Knocknashega.
I think this
He
is
looked
it.
like Darby. Oh, just like any other leprechaun. Only he'd been the king
Can you
of them all.
seriously go to our Facebook page?
Yes, I can find that for you.
Go to the Facebook page and play a little of this clip. I think this warrants a clip. What's that? Okay, we can hear it from
Do you
Mike.
have yours up, Mike?
Yeah, I do. I do. Here
Oh,
we go. All right.
especially now.
That's later on.
Well, here we go.
Is that on 10, RJ?
All right, here we go. Let's see what she says.
Michael Higgins.
I spoke about my time in the Midwest and going to the Greyhound bus station and hearing for the first time the phrase poor white trash. These people who, you know, I was there just before the Civil Rights Charter came in, and frankly, the idea that a person would not have one job, but have 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and work all the light hours that are there, and still not be entitled to the basic protection of fundamental care is so outrageous. So whether you agree with Obama and what he is doing in aspects of his foreign policy, and I might disagree with some things about Latin and South America, but one of the things I do agree, the idea of there being a social floor below which people wouldn't fall, that's the future. I think even the poorest people in the great country that is the United States should be entitled to basic health care. And I don't think they'll thank the Sarah Palin lookalikes and followers for taking it off, though. You're about as late arrival in Irish politics as Sarah Palin is in American politics. And both of you have the same tactic. The tactic is to get a large crowd, whip them up, try and discover what is the greatest fear, work on that, and feed it right back, and you get a frenzy. And that leads you in time then to when you have, in fact, maybe one of the most gifted presidents-elect. I happen not to agree with all his foreign policy, but you know, you regard, for example, someone who happens to have been a professor at Harvard as somehow or other handicapped. You don't find anything wrong at all with this Tea Party ignorance that is being brought all around the United States, which is regularly insulting people who have been democratically elected.
Deputy Higgins, I'm not going to insult you.
Oh, I think you should.
By bringing up your lack of knowledge of the Tea Party movement. Other than
I lived in the United States, and you know one of the interesting things, Mike? Do you know the big difference as I listened? I lived in the Midwest, in Willie Nelson country. I was a student there at the end of the 60s. I was a professor in Illinois at the end of the 70s. The magnificent, decent, generous people of the United States with whom I had supper, people I sat around there, ate homemade ice cream with them. The difference between them and the tiny elite who are in charge of warmongering foreign policy of the United States is just enormous. So therefore, when you go on your picnic around the country, you're really not representing the decent United States people who are very proud, correctly, of the person they've elected president, which they're entitled to do. But you have the neck to say that people like me, who are willing to talk to people who are at each side trying to build peace, are somehow or another in favour of people who want to murder Jewish people. Right. That is an outrageous statement. I am not anti-Semitic. I am not in favour of murder. And unlike you, I make my profession in politics. And I worked in human rights. And I condemned Hamas for setting rockets. None of that will matter to you. Because you know what you want? I mean, I wish you well. Keep drinking Guinness and keep ranting away. But don't suggest that those of us who are working for peace in the heat of the day are somehow interested in murdering Jews. Okay. There's a man in the United, you know him. I think you may have interviewed him. Mort B. Klein. He represents 14 Jewish organizations in New York. He organized 45 members of the House of Representatives to sign a letter condemning Barack Obama for giving Mary Robinson the Medal of Honor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was debating with him on a program rather like this. And I said to him, how can you conclude that Mary Robinson is anti-Semitic? And he said, I said, Bishop Tutu, for example. Bishop Tutu is anti-Semitic as well. You're going down that road. And really it is very dangerous stuff. The fact of the matter is, look, young people from the United States are traveling all over the world again. They're welcome in Europe. They're backpackers in hostels. People are talking to them because the image of the United States, we've got away from this warmongering, is getting better. At least 47 million people that the likes of you condemned to no health care in a country that I was proud to work in. These people are going to have some health care. Okay. So this is the issue. So therefore be proud to be a decent American rather than being just a wanker whipping up fear.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. Mike, you know more about the Irish culture than I.
Yes.
When does he breathe?
I think there's a lot of editing that goes on there.
Yeah. There was at least one big breath, but wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that's it. And he's all over the place, especially when he talks about the anti-Semitic issue, talks about Israel.
Answering some other questions.
This is the president, Michael Higgins, the duly elected president of Ireland, elected in November of 2012. And it's interesting, and this has gone viral. This is all over the internet. And he's speaking about health care, and he believes that everybody ought to be covered. Kind of the same thing I was ranting about yesterday.
Have to be November of 2011, otherwise the election hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, November of 2011.
Okay.
I think that's when he was elected, and he goes on and on and on about that, and
very well too.
We have that up at our various different places. So
I like his voice. He talks funny.
We are out of time. We are running super late. Wow. We are here with Michael Holstein from Quench. We'll take a break. Didn't get to my testosterone thing.
Maybe the bonus show?
Maybe no, probably not.
You know what?
Probably have to do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the testosterone thing has been fixed just by present company.
Yes, perhaps you're right.
Thank you, Roger. Too kind.
We'll take a break and come back. Not a chance. Mark Ronick is such a douchebag.
Well, he's sitting in Oscar's chair. He has his role to fill.
It's contagious.
We're back with the Audio Vault, ladies and gentlemen. Our segment is brought to you by TryLendingTree.com.
Oh, yeah.
If you're thinking about refinancing your home or buying one, now is the time. We mention the interest rate every single time. Mm-hmm. Stuns me, 2.125%, as low as that. And get cracking. If you're somebody that thinks, I refied a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I have no interest in doing it again, check that interest rate out, 2.125%. Just go to TryLendingTree.com. Complete one simple form. It's very easy. They have a network of over 200 lenders. They will compete for your business. It's totally free.
Right.
And don't wait, because you never know when it's going to happen.
Right.
And nobody can predict it. As I said, 4% won't go any lower than that.
Yeah, rock bottom.
TryLendingTree.com. That's TRY LendingTree.com. Get a free mortgage guide when you enter the code TMOS to make sure you get the best deal. Just visit TryLendingTree.com and enter the code TMOS. Play the disclaimer.
Conditions apply. Visit website for details. NMLS license number 1136, 1312 Village Creek Drive, Suite 900, Plano, Texas 75093.
Let's open it up for
Mike.
today. This is Thursday, Aug 23, 2012. Take it away, Rob.
Mike, do you remember? I would say it's about 2 years ago when a guy from the
I don't
Detroit...
remember much after this Hemingway daiquiri has got freaking heroin in it.
Deep back in your mind. A guy from the Detroit Tigers was pitching. His name was Armando Galarraga. And he was robbed of a perfect game.
And he handled it with the most amazing class. He was absolutely screwed out of pitching a perfect game, and he could not have been more dignified.
Last out of the ninth inning, it was absolutely clear in the replay that this ump missed the call. Here is the actual call that the ump missed.
Swinging a ground ball right side, backhanded by Cabrera. He's going to turn, throw to first, and they didn't get him. Oh, man! A absolutely horrible call. A perfect game taken away.
Slowly hit. Cabrera throws. He's safe.
And the thing that you brought up is what I remember too, is that the umpire, his name was Jim Joyce, actually took it upon himself to apologize in person to the pitcher.
Yeah.
And the pitcher handled it with the most amazing class. But Jim Joyce has that hanging over his head. He's the umpire that stole a perfect game from this guy. Something good happened to Jim Joyce this week. Maybe could sort of make him, sort of forgive him for what he did.
Okay.
Check this out. This is the actual play-by-play talking about that same umpire.
Last night at 5:15, a longtime employee of the Arizona Diamondbacks started feeling a little faint. She actually passed out, and luckily, miraculously for her, Jim Joyce was getting close to the umpire's locker room. He knows CPR. He was able to attend to her right away. All reports are that she is doing well, but without a doubt, that man right there saved a life here at the ballpark last evening.
So
that's terrific.
He will from now on be known as the umpire who saved a life and stole a perfect game.
He stole a perfect game, but what I remember most about that was the pitcher was so classy about the way, and the umpire immediately apologized, which really these guys don't do.
Yeah,
This is
I
their
never see
livelihood.
that.
But at the same time, it was such a botched call and really shouldn't have happened in the first place. But they all handled it.
And
with
do you know
class.
how Jim Joyce was able to save the life? By thinking of this song in his head. It is the beat that you're supposed to use to save a person's life. And if you do not know CPR, I know a place where you can learn it.
That's right. And April was here earlier today.
Yes, she
right?
was.
Yeah, that's why you have a nice shirt and cologne on today.
Yeah, you're looking dapper today.
I haven't seen you dressed like this.
Oh, yes, you have.
You've dressed like this twice in 6 months.
More than that. And you know why? Because I can now. After
Yes.
120 pounds, I can do it. I can look much better than I have.
After 120 pounds, he knows how to play hard to get, Mike.
But we were discussing future dates, so we're working on that.
Future dates like what, going out with her?
Sponsorship.
Oh, all right.
come on.
Excellent.
Mike, please.
Just
So,
checking.
so find that information on our website and learn CPR. Please,
Yeah, very
everybody. Please, and like them on Facebook.
Stay in line.
Are you disappointed in Prince Harry? Prince
here it
Harry,
is.
Mike.
No.
Prince Harry.
I'm somebody because I'm an Irish American and I come from roots that were very pro Irish independence,
Which means anti-Great Britain. Nice spin, but that's what you're saying.
I won't say that glasses were raised when certain members of the royal family were blown up in my family, but the fact is, I come from that background.
You don't mean literal explosions, by the way.
Well, not really.
Okay, good.
All right, there might have been one thing with Lord Mountbatten.
Go boom.
Happy Thanksgiving. But anyway, I don't want to. I don't want to say that ever really happened.
No, it never did.
But anyway, so I'm not an Anglophile, so I don't follow the royal family, and I kind of think we overdo it in this country with the royal family. However, through all of that, I've really gotten to be quite fond of Prince Harry and Prince William.
That's
I
right.
think he married well. I think they got a really class act going.
Sure.
But Prince Harry is a party animal.
Yeah.
And he really, look, I've been in these hotel rooms in Las Vegas. You know the ones we're talking about. They're usually in the big suites. They usually have the big tall windows.
Right.
And they have a pool table.
And you're usually naked.
And the fact
but covering himself.
Yes.
no, but
Tastefully.
obviously you can but this is not a picture that was taken through the window.
No.
This was taken of Prince Harry naked frolicking with a lovely lady.
Yes. And so
there's-
there's obviously a third person in the room.
And I would assume that third person is probably another female.
I would think
The
so.
Queen, I
Now,
think.
two things.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Camilla. But the thing that I came away from this is that, if I was him, I'd probably be doing the same thing if I could. Also,
he's at the age now where he's got to get his act together. He really can't do that.
also, do you know who he was partying with that very night?
Who?
Ryan Lochte.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The idiot swimmer?
Yes.
Yes, he was with him. And also, I'm also coming away from this knowing that people in news media really know how to write creatively.
Okay.
That's what I know. Here's a montage that Jimmy Kimmel ran last night.
Nude photos, some very notable nude photos popped up on the internet today. Photos of what appears to be Prince Harry having a big naked party in Las Vegas.
The royal family is learning the hard way that what happens in Vegas for them doesn't stay in Vegas.
Prince Harry is finding out that what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas.
Yep.
They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but not, it seems, if you're Prince Harry.
What happens in Vegas apparently is not staying in Vegas. What happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas. What happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, unless, of course, you're Prince Harry.
Apparently what happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas.
Now, it is an age-old saying that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Unfortunately for Prince Harry, it hasn't.
Well, I don't know that it's really an age-old saying. I think it's from like 2005 or something. Prince Harry was hanging out by the pool at the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas on Friday. And by the way, if you're Googling Harry nude photos right now, make sure you spell Harry right because trust me.
Oh, boy. Rob, I'm going to need a pen.
Okay, yeah.
I've got to change something.
Change some copy. Speaking of repetition, you know what's great about
Did
Paul?
you really? Did
No,
you
no,
really?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
You know what's great about Paul Ryan is even though he's going on all these whistle-stop speaking engagements to promote his election,
yes,
he's keeping it fresh.
Okay,
good.
No repetition with Paul Ryan,
Excellent.
Mike.
And just up the road in Park City, when the Olympics were failing, when they were fledgling, when they had bloat, waste, and corruption, sounds kind of familiar these days, doesn't it? You know, the waste, the fraud, the bloat, the corruption, that sounds kind of familiar these days, doesn't it? All the waste, the bloated spending, the corruption, kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Wow.
Remember the scandals?
Oh, yeah.
The waste, the bloated spending, all the corruption. The corruption and the waste and the overspending. The waste, the overspending.
All different speeches within 2 days.
The corruption, the wasteful spending, the bloat. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it?
What happens
that
in
sounds
Vegas?
kind of familiar today, doesn't it? It kind of sounds familiar these days, doesn't it? Sounds kind of familiar today, doesn't it?
Yeah, but he knows how to work out. So there's your Paul Ryan.
Well, I think that couldn't you do that to all of them though? Couldn't you do that to all the candidates?
Maybe not to that effect, to
Isn't
that
it,
amount.
But isn't it the stump speech? It's the routine 10-minute speech they give to everybody.
I suppose, but still, I like pointing it out with him.
He doesn't look good.
I think he looks dreamy.
I know he works. I knew he works his ass off.
Yes,
and he works out regularly. But he got the anus eyes.
Yeah,
well, he got the anus eyes like you would not believe.
It may be his testosterone levels.
Thank you for bringing that
Yeah,
up.
I heard that.
I really appreciate that.
I heard that.
You know who else
That's terrific.
has a great choice of
Mark
words
Ronick,
sometimes?
noted douchebag.
It's Mark Ronick, the future unemployed Mark Ronick.
He did promise.
He'll have lots of time to spend at Quench in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Who chooses his words well, Mike, is former coach Joe Gibbs. He used a phrase on ESPN. Yes, great.
Mike was going to do his Bane impression.
Tasty.
I do think that Joe Gibbs might have chosen different words on ESPN radio if he had a second chance.
Yeah, I go to the basketball game, pro basketball game every time.
And by the way, him, Jack Nicklaus, their voice just keep getting higher.
Is that, you know what, that terrifies me?
Why?
Because I don't want to be. But there's certain old guys like James Earl Jones. You have Gregory Peck.
Yeah,
they've got that baritone until the day they die.
Yeah.
Then you get these old guys that, as they age, it turns into.
That's not going to happen to you.
Meanwhile,
Right.
Jack
You're gonna be
Nicklaus is
fine.
talking about the new course he designed, and glasses are shattering. But here's Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, I go to the basketball game, pro basketball game every time, and they always said I was queer for tight ends. I had more tight ends running around there with the Redskins. I look out there and I go, that's where all the tight ends are. They're playing in the NBA.
He's queer for tight ends.
Queer for tight ends.
That's maybe a poor
Who'd have
choice of
thought?
words.
I posted something in the Mike O'Mara Show YouTube page that is as scary as any movie I've ever seen, as horrifying as Human Centipede. It's a 1984 interview with Tom Snyder and Scott Shannon.
Oh, my God.
What?
And I want you to listen. This is right after Shannon launched Z100 in New York City. And I
Is
want
that
you.
before Pirate Radio or after Pirate Radio?
This is before Pirate Radio,
really?
because he
Okay.
used the success of Z100
Oh, okay.
to
All right.
launch Pirate Radio. I want you to listen to
Scott Shannon's been on the air for like 70 years.
At least.
80. I want you to listen to cool Scott Shannon and listen to Tom Snyder call him on it. Now, the
Okay.
voice we do is here in traces.
Okay.
But what you need to know is, A, he looks horrifying.
Yeah.
Please look at this video. Let's go back to 1984.
For those who listen to Scott in the morning, you're a wild and crazy guy on the air in the morning. Now Scott comes on with Tom at Channel 7, and Scott is subdued. Scott is a professional disc jockey. Scott is not going to be wild and crazy this afternoon. He's going to be a broadcaster of record. Come on, Scott, give me the wild and crazy stuff. Come on, give me the Cliff Laundromats and the Bill Fife and the Knit Witness News, all that stuff you do for us in the morning. Come on, kick us, Scott. Beat us up
on
like
the
you do in
radio.
morning. Give it to us.
We do that on the radio. That's all. We don't really, we don't do television. That's why we're in radio.
Exactly.
But we have a lot of fun. We write a lot of stuff. We start writing like about 5 o'clock in the morning. And when there's a target as easy as...
Oh, yeah.
like a sitting
Ladies
duck.
and gentlemen,
Yeah.
I'm simply speculating here.
Yes?
But I believe DRUGSs were rather rampant during that era.
Hey, I want to tell you one thing. Just say no.
That's the radio show. We don't do that necessarily on television. I strangely sound like John Riggins when he was partying with Mike O'Mara during the mid-'80s also.
And if you're doing morning drive, start writing before 5 a.m. Unless writing meant something
It
else.
astonishes me how much he sounds like Riggo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
During the same era, and when I'd see Riggo at like 1 o'clock in the morning, he'd say, Mr. O'Mara, you don't get into the Hall of Fame by being
Drugs and alcohol.
Hey, Mr. Riggins, is that hollandaise sauce in your mustache?
You know, and what I did was I was out with my friend Sean and Doug Wallachin, and I decided to hook up with Mike O'Mara. We went to Bistro Francais on Georgetown, and unfortunately, I'd had enough bottles of Chardonnay where my face fell into my eggs. And then the couple next door to me decided to start giggling. And, of course, Mike O'Mara was also S-faced, and he wanted to fight the couple that was next door because his drunkenness manifested itself in a slightly different way than me. I passed out in my eggs where Mike wants to fight the whole room.
But Mike,
It was a great night.
Yeah, Mike felt a little braver when he had the NFL player with him until he found out the player was breathing hollandaise sauce.
When we went out, the very first night I went out with John Riggins, and we walked down, and John was wearing a cowboy hat.
A mile wide.
Now, here's a Washington Redskin wearing a cowboy hat with the big belt buckle.
Oops.
And we went down, you know where the Washington Harbor is here down in
Sure,
Washington,
yeah,
D.C.,
sure.
and we walked by and everybody's having dinner outside. And it was like I was part of an entourage.
Righto.
And it was, I will never forget it as long as I live. And went out a couple of times afterward, and then all hell broke loose.
Before we close the door on Shannon, you may ask Mike, how did he make Z100 #1 in New York City? Oh, God. Do you know? Do you know?
So glad we have another clip of
One of the ways that we got to the #1 is we really became a people station. We allowed people to call in. They're part of the morning show. They win a lot. You know, instead of spending too much money on television advertising, we take a lot of that budget and we give it out in prize $100 bills at a time. And we're going to continue to be, you know, on the street level with the people. Continue to serve the audience instead of the critics and all that.
Yeah.
But
Rob's a little obsessed with
Conjurer.
I do encourage you to look at this tape if you can bear it,
Okay.
because it is horrifying. I close with the PSA that the Letterman show did. Everyone is worried about Hurricane Isaac, Mike. It's going to be scary down there in Florida, and they still don't know when it's going to land. So
Hurricane Isaac Hayes.
Please keep this in mind as you are fearing Hurricane Isaac.
A potential hurricane is heading for Florida. Forecasters warn it could disrupt the Republican convention in Tampa. However, there's no cause for alarm. According to Republican Todd Aiken, Florida rarely suffers damage from a legitimate hurricane. Representative Todd Aiken, science is fun.
That is your magic audio vault.
All right, we are going to take another break, come back with Buzz and News. And hey, look who's here. It's
Hey, it's
Oscar
Oscar
Santana.
Santana.
Hey, Michael Holstein, are there? Listen to me. Now I'm really getting motivated. Now you know I've really left the show. Hey, Michael, are there any more drinks that we'll be enjoying from Quench in the next segment?
We can go to the liquor store.
Yeah. We'll take a break, come back with Buzz right after this. Welcome back to MikeO'MaraShow.com. Oscar has rejoined us after having a meltdown at his day job. Everything under control?
Not really.
Really?
Oh, dear. Yeah.
And
But
scary.
it's nothing to do with myself or anybody's performance.
Yeah.
It's this world of the cyber world.
Yeah.
And-
Computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Hacking.
should say it wasn't him who had the meltdown.
Right.
It was the business.
It was the business, but glad you're here
computer.
now.
Thank you.
And we've all selected our drinks. I'm having the Hemingway Daiquiri. Buzz is having the 50 Shades of Grey. Rob is having an Old Fashioned, and we need for tomorrow night at Quench for
you to choose.
to pick your particular beverage.
I've actually been to Quench, so I think I already know what I'd like.
Okay.
And if it's here, the menu hasn't changed,
one
correct? Which is the one with the little, it's almost like a clove that goes in. And it's
the Pimp's Cup?
Yeah, something like that.
It's got the.
Did you say the Pimp's Cup?
Well, for Oscar, maybe it's the Pimm's Cup.
Oh, the Pimm's Cup. I thought it was the
yes.
Pimp's Cup.
That would be mine.
Okay.
The Pimm's Cup.
Done and done.
What
I have
is it?
multiples of those, let me
Oscar
tell you.
can-
A Pimm's Cup?
Yes.
And what is Pimm's?
Oh, I don't know. I just know it was the best drink I tried.
Well, Jesus Christ! Between the two of you idiots, can we come up with the drink?
Is it on the menu?
I know it
It's
is,
on the
Mike.
menu.
It's short for Pimlico.
It's gins. Gin, ginger beer, lemon wedge, lime wedge, orange wheel. I don't even know what that is. Cucumber disc,
slice of orange,
and a smack of mint.
Very good. Looking forward to it.
Pim's
So,
Wheel.
so it's the Pim's Cup.
Yes.
It's the 50 Shades of Grey for Buzz.
Very
It's
good.
the Old Fashioned for Rob, and it's the Hemingway Daiquiri for me, which I am going to get together
The dumbed down
with
Hemingway.
the dumbed down Hemingway Daiquiri. And,
The Dummingway.
Right. Did you say hi to Diana, Oscar?
I did. I noticed her when we walked in.
Thank you.
Did you?
I would think so.
Very good. Let's get a news update. Here's Buzz Burbank. Take it away, Buzz.
What happens in Vegas stays... No, wait a minute.
No.
We're brought to you today by The Twilight War by David Christ. The Twilight War is the dramatic secret history of our 30-year conflict with Iran during the covert operations that brought our countries to the brink of war. Author David Christ is an historian for the U.S. government and a frequent advisor to senior civilian and government officials. The Twilight War by David Christ, praised by both the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. NPR calls it fascinating, says it reads like an action movie. The Twilight War by David Christ, available now at thetwilightwar.com, but you can help the show by purchasing the book through our Amazon page on our website.
I can't put it down. It's a great book.
Is there any more Hemingway daiquiris?
Where's Oscar's?
Yeah, Oscar needs a beverage.
Yeah, I
Mike,
could use
from
one.
me to you.
He can have my Hemingway.
Thank you.
And what does a Hemingway?
Thank you, Diana.
About 2.5 pounds.
About 8 ounces.
That's right.
As we look to the future of our nation and our
Killer
economy,
dress.
It is, isn't
Go
it?
ahead, I'm sorry.
No,
What?
you're right.
For those of you
I
who
have
missed
to
it, what
agree.
Mike just said, killer drink.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Killer
with
drink.
that. As we look to the future of our nation and our economy,
Table for two, Mr. O'Mara.
You know what? It's not often that you toast Buzz before the news.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been
MCU.
a great newscast.
Really,
Thank you.
it
Thank you.
hasn't not
I'm
begun.
Buzz Burbank.
Mike's turned it into looks like a wake.
A record 52% of high school graduates took the ACT college preparedness test in the last year. The bad news is about 60% of them are not prepared for college. Of the 4 benchmarks a student has to master in that test, math, English, reading, and science, 28% of students didn't hit any of the marks. Only 25% of them.
Did you say 28%?
28% of the kids who took the test didn't hit any of the marks, didn't hit the English, the math, the science,
This
or the
is
reading.
nationwide?
Nationwide,
Failed them
right.
all. Gosh.
That's a record number of people taking the test. At 25%, only 25% of the test takers met all 4 of the requirements.
Speaking
Boy,
of,
Catherine, I hope you are one of those people.
she'll do fine.
She will.
And speaking of the 28% that failed, Mike, can I tease real quick our guest tomorrow? Because
Okay.
we need to prep it. Jabril is back from Tunisia.
Oh, wow.
I got to see him this morning, my third child, Jabril. He will be in studio tomorrow for a live edition of Jabrilliance. But as you know, Jabrilliance is when he entertains your questions and helps you solve things. I'm sorry, Mike. That's right.
He is having.
We need your questions, so
You're
please.
so into this, and I was just being so mean.
I
That
know.
is so.
He's my boy. And
I know.
He's back.
I know. I was
He
just
looks
having fun.
great.
He's happy. Look at him.
Let me give I want to give the look that I just gave RJ when Rob was saying that. Say what you
Okay.
said at the beginning.
We're very excited. Jabril will be live in studio tomorrow for a live.
That was the who cares look.
But for Jabril, we need your questions. So please send your questions. You can send them to me on Facebook, or you can email Mark at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Questions for Jabril. He will help you live a better life. Mike, can I get you a cocktail napkin? We need an olive over there at microphone 1 right away.
We're playing a game in the bonus hour today.
Yes, it's trying to keep you upright.
Here we go.
breath.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's right.
Hey, Diana. I really like you.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Now it's
Just
awkward.
having-
RJ says, "Oh no!" Like the fuse has been lit.
What's happening in the news, Buzz?
I'm so glad you asked. We're still recovering from the last recession.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Experts say there may be a new one on the horizon no matter who gets elected president. That's because it's up to Congress, the same Congress that's accomplished less than the do-nothing Congress of 1948.
Hey, Congress sucks.
A deal has to be reached on taxes and spending by the end of this year, or, as both parties agree, we'll
Diana could fix Congress.
go off
Yeah.
a fiscal cliff. But that's all the parties agree on. As usual, it boils down to whether or not to tax the rich. But a new report says fewer Americans are living paycheck to paycheck than we were during the last recession, or since the last recession began in
glad to hear that.
2008.
Glad to hear that. Yeah, good for them.
The study by Career Builder says those of us living check to check has dropped from 46% to 40%.
I got levied.
Most in that group.
I got a tax levy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mark Levy, our friend.
I
on Facebook.
got like an $1,800 tax levy from 2008.
Thank you, IRS.
And I called my accountant, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I knew that was going." I said, "Well, why did you tell me I was going to get a levy?"
I got
Accountants
a
are
levy,
great.
and I knew it was coming.
I drove my Chevy
Off the levee?
to the levee, but the levee was
But the
dry.
levee was dry.
That's unfortunate.
On to the presidential race. Let's try that. President Obama still has a decent lead
whiskey and rye.
in the important state of Ohio, but has lost his lead in other key states, including Florida and Wisconsin. Most voters say they hate the Medicare plan of Mitt Romney's running mate, Paul Ryan, and Republicans in general have lost the support of women and Hispanics. But men are
Oscar?
disgruntled with Obama, making
okay.
a close race even closer.
Have you boys driven down the main drag in my little hamlet here, where the studios, the Mike O'Mara Show studios are? Have you noticed the Romney signage, which
No, I
to
haven't
me
seen it.
would probably be quadrupled from the last presidential election? Mitt Romney is going to win this election. It's what I said 3 months ago. It's what I say now. It's becoming more clear that that's going to happen.
If nothing
and
else, he'll be president of Manassas.
He'll be president of Manassas. But I think really when they're quiet, when the Republican base shuts up and they don't say anything, what are you playing?
Playing American
Of course
Pie.
he's playing.
And I am seeing so many more bumper stickers for Romney. That's how I do it. I look at that and I see what's going to happen. And then I call the grassroots Obama campaign and I said, hey, here's my yard if you want to put one of your Obama signs up. And they're like,
They
and
don't
nothing
know.
happened.
Well, the problem is money. Donations. And
You know what happened last election when I asked for that?
Right.
It was there 2 days later. They were in the yard. They were hammering the sign.
That's
They don't
because-
have any money.
Right. That's what they got. A lot of donations last time. This time, Romney outstripping them 2-1, more than 2-1.
Are you ready to make your prediction yet? Are you ready to call the election?
I honestly still feel that it's too close to call. I think it could teeter either way, but I see trending. I'm watching the trending, and they say it may get down to the last 2 weeks. Really.
Well, I think right now the electoral college guy, the Colorado colleges where they do the economic indicators and they try to determine who's going to win the election, they've come out saying that they think it's going to be Romney this time around. With that said, anything can happen in any political election where you have a last-minute gaffe or a glitch that could happen, but I really don't think that's going to happen.
For undecideds and independents, when they walk into that booth on Election Day in November, they're going to examine two questions. The economy, they're going to look at the economy.
Right.
And they're going to look at the guy who was president the last 4 years, and they're going to look at Mitt Romney and say, that guy gives me the willies or he doesn't.
Okay.
And that's really
you might
what
be
it's-
right.
that's
I
what
hope,
it's gonna
I
come
hope you're
down
right.
to.
I'm rooting for your guy.
As of today, just quickly, Buzz, I'm sorry. I think I have to make this clear that the strongest player right now is the Hemingway daiquiri.
Well, that's Mike's drink.
It's
for
a make or
Saturday
break.
night,
Mike
yeah.
just voted 3 times for it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
One thing that has helped the Romney campaign is an ad that takes offense to the Super PAC ad that blames a woman's cancer death on Romney's Bain Capital downsizing. The pro-Obama ad was neither produced nor approved by the Obama campaign, and he has distanced himself from it. The Romney ad response, though, is called America Deserves Better, and a new study shows that commercial has actually swung some independent Indiana voters toward Romney. The TV networks have reruns ready in case the forecasters are right about Tropical Storm Isaac. That storm now appears to be targeting Tampa on day one of the Republican National
Are
Convention.
you kidding me?
Nice
That's the
timing.
timetable they're looking at now.
That is truly amazing.
Storms expected to reach hurricane strength sometime today and pass through Cuba this weekend.
Just a message from me going out to Isaac. Please skip Fort Myers. Please skip
I think it's a
Fort
good
Myers.
idea.
Please skip Fort
Well,
Myers.
maybe he's mailed them like a shortcut he could take.
Yeah.
That's where I have
Shoot him an email.
I have a winter retreat there, Diana.
You like Florida, Diana?
It's more of a compound, Diana.
Yes,
I'll
thank
go
you.
check it out when I get down there.
Other news fast. We now know that 3 University of Colorado shrinks saw James Holmes before he shot up that movie theater. At least one of the doctors warned the school in advance. The former head of Penn State says he had no idea Jerry Sandusky was involved in sexual abuse. Former school president Graham Spanier says he heard it was just horseplay in the shower. Oh, boy. This year's drought has made for a better wine crop in the Midwest, especially Missouri. The drought has also made it easier for flying cops to find marijuana patches because the weed survives when other plants don't, so the green stands out.
Because it's irrigated, right? They bring in irrigation
No,
for it?
because weed survives even without water.
It's a weed, Mike.
It's a weed.
It's a weed.
So
Better
they'll
watch
look
out, Michael.
Acres and acres of that burned out area, and then they'll have the green.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of dead stuff, and there'll be green patch. It's pretty much got to be weed.
It's got bigger roots. It goes after the water more than
Settle
other
down.
Jesus
Jesus
Christ, RJ.
Too much information.
What you care about, addled brain?
I'm just
You can't get out a full sentence. You get on that subject like that. I was asking the newsman, calm your ass down. It's okay. You love weed. You love weed more than he does.
Yeah, sure thing. This is good alcohol.
You really love weed. You love weed more than he does. I think you do.
I understand the science behind it.
That might be the whole reason for everything.
You know why? Because
that's the whole reason for the world.
because weed's on weight not.
And the Golden Nugget Casino. The Golden Nugget Casino in Atlantic City is trying to get back $1.5 million from 14 gamblers after it discovered it forgot to shuffle the decks of cards at the baccarat table.
They lose.
Charlie!
Forget it.
Oh my God! If there was one game in the casino where shuffling might be more important than any other, it would be baccarat.
And I guess the dealer didn't notice it, but the players did, and suddenly their bets increased from $10 to $5,000.
There's no way they can get the money back. That is an absolute error on their part.
Yeah,
Michael,
how could you get the money back?
Michael, do you do baccarat at all?
I'm a craps guy.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And poker.
I remember
and sports betting.
Now, my degenerate gambling, when I hear craps, I even think about the fact, what?
We need to go.
What?
We need to hurry.
Oh my God.
We're running into a second CD.
Oh, sorry about that.
Finally.
It's just a second CD.
More sex news.
Is that going to drive Steve nuts?
Not really. I just, as a courtesy.
All right,
and we have another to do.
Sure.
Okay. All right. You keep that, RJ.
Yeah, but as far as craps, when I get every number played on the table, that's when he rolls a 7.
Yeah.
That's my
The more you
tradition.
have out there, that's when somebody screws you.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, wrap it up.
At the tone, change CDs. Boop. Finally, more sex news. Today from the Peach State, a female cheerleading coach near Atlanta, Georgia, has resigned and is under investigation after she led a striptease game with the girls at her house during a sleepover involving high school cheerleaders from Lovejoy High.
Lovejoy.
Wow.
And a male football coach in DeKalb County, Georgia, has been suspended after he sexted nude pictures of himself to the mom of one of his players.
Oh, dear.
That mom, at the game, then showed the pics to pretty much everyone, including students, the school staff, and the coach's wife. I'm Buzz Burbank on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Thank you, Buzz. Our show is brought to you by our happy hour at Quench. We want to thank Michael Holstein and also Diana Ash for coming by with these wonderful libations. And we're going to be at Quench tomorrow night from 5 to 7 p.m. or later. Maybe. At Quench in Rockville. Come say hi to all of us from the show. Enjoy drink specials chosen by each member of our merry band. We've got the 50 Shades of Grey. We've got the Pimm's cocktail for Oscar Santana. The Old Fashioned for RJ. The Dumbed Down Hemingway daiquiri for
Rob
me.
Spiewak is the name.
What's that?
Rob Spiewak is the name.
Sorry about that. I did my very, very best, but thanks.
You were doing so
roll
well.
your eyes at me. Thanks a lot.
Just like you did for me.
And some very,
Jabril.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's my weird thing I have where I love children.
Oh, yeah, you're a saint. Some very impressive food also on special. You think Jabril's going to make a difference with all those horrible things you said over the years?
You bet your ass I'm counting on it.
He doesn't listen.
It all happens at Quench Friday the 24th. That's tomorrow night, 5 to 7 p.m. Quench is at 9712 Treville Gateway Drive in Rockville. For more information, go to quenchnation.com or click their banner ad on our website. Michael Holstein, you're going to be hanging out for our bonus hour?
Well, we'll stay as long as you'll have us.
Yeah, you can
That's
stick
nice.
Uh,
around. That'll be a lot of fun. Diana, you want to hang out?
Oh, so you actually don't need me at all.
That's right.
We came in separate cars.
We'll see you next time, and stay tuned for a very long program. Thank you, Steve Bridges. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die.